C, whatever you want to call me these days. Coming at you with a video in regards to Anti-Venom, my initial thoughts, and just a couple playthroughs. So I did whale out on Anti-Venom yesterday. I did the two offers. I was able to get him up to 5 stars, 4 red currently. I've got him at 664. Um, Currently kind of sitting at level 60. Can definitely take him higher. I think I can actually max him out, or just about max him out. The only thing is with the Emma milestones, I am just about capped out at gold. So I won't probably get him any higher until after 7 p.m. my time. So with that being said, he's not going to be at his full capacity. He definitely starts to come better into play, especially when he gets his passive T forward, and that really is going to kind of really just kind of change the way this team works. Without all of the T4s on him, his passive in particular, he'll only clear negative effects from 3 symbiotes in total, whereas the team consists of 5. I haven't really played with him too much quite yet. I did one kind of initial playthrough in Blitz last night. I'm primarily thinking this is going to be a raid team, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to take him into a U7 node, see how they do. Again, he is not fully maxed out yet, so if the team doesn't perform as per expected, there's certainly some room to wiggle with. So currently, I have Anti-Venom at 40k, Venom at 90, Carnage 105, Scream at 59k, and Symbiote Spider-Man at 108. All of them are, at least 5 red, with the exception of Anti-Venom and Scream. Carnage is 6, and all 7 stars except for Symbiote Spider-Man, Scream, and Anti-Venom. But anyway, let's see how they do with a Ultima 7 raid fight. This is going to be the first difficulty of Ultima 7, so this is the easiest version. Definitely I think for the higher end content of Ultima 7, Anti-Venom will need to be obviously taken up and probably maxed out. But that is a long ways from now. So this is just kind of going to be an initial playthrough. I'll do it, see how it goes on 2 times speed initially, and just kind of go from there. So the kind of premise of this team is they are going to apply a bunch of debuffs on the field and just kind of slowly tick down the enemies. And combination of when something gets to 25% health, Carnage is going to give all the symbiotes speed up. When something actually dies, Scream is going to give the symbiotes all speed up for 2 turns. So Anti-Venom, so we don't really... so the way his ultimate works is the symbiotes will gain the opposite effect of all negative effects that are currently on the target, excluding bleeds. So basically, if I was to target Quake over here, she has defense down for 2 turns and offense down for 1 turn. So in theory, if I do this ultimate on Quake, my symbiotes should then get offense up and defense up. So let's see what happens on that one. All right, and there you go. So he applied offense up for 1 turn and defense up for 2 turns. So definitely a really cool mechanic. As you're adding debuffs to the enemy, with the exception of bleeds, obviously, your symbiotes are then going to get buffed up, so that's pretty cool. Um, they are going a lot of turns, and this is just because of the way the mechanics work with the symbiotes. Um, so you'll notice that the enemy isn't really attacking all that often. This one, clear heal blocks, apply immunity to all allies, heal allies for 50%. So a cool thing about, I would say, Anti-Venom's special, especially if you are going up against a team that is going to have a lot of debuffs, either in regards to, you know, teams like Magneto that are going to cause blind, which we just have Magneto up now. So if Anti-Venom can go before Magneto, or even this Mordo that's on the field. And if he applies that disrupt, it's going to allow all of my characters to basically not get any negative debuffs. So when I apply that, I'm going to let Magneto go, and we shouldn't get any blinds on our side of the field. Um, that's assuming that, the symbiotes go while they still have the immunity up. So Carnage's is already gone. Um, and I think actually all of them are going to pretty much lose by the end of the turn. But so anyway, in theory, that's how that would work. The problem with that demonstration is the team is just too fast. Um, and so yeah, but so as you see, I mean, this team went through this first node pretty quickly. So I am going to try a second node just to kind of really kind of play around with the team a little bit more. When I did it last night, I wasn't really kind of playing with the mechanics, and it was a blitz fight, and it was, I think, my first blitz fight of the Scientist Supreme blitz. So it was a really easy blitz, and the team just kind of stomped through whoever they were doing. I want to kind of look and see. I think when Anti-Venom, after he is going and he's kind of hopping to a symbiote ally, I think that's actually him clearing the debuffs. So I just want to kind of verify that, play around a little bit more with his basic, and just kind of see what that's all about. So currently with this team, just to give you a little rundown of how I have this team set up, I have Symbiote Spider-Man and Scream, both as Raiders. I have Anti-Venom as a skirmisher, or I'm sorry, Carnage as a skirmisher, and then I've got Anti-Venom and Actual Venom as my strikers. So again, we're going to do that little flip. So Scarlet Witch has defense down and offense up. So I'm going to do Anti-Venom's ultimate. So essentially getting offense up and defense up for a few turns. And so far, I'm really enjoying this playthrough. The team seems to be going pretty well. I honestly think I could probably auto these nodes, and it wouldn't be an issue. The team seems to be working pretty well. Now that we got a couple debuffs on the field, I'll be curious what Anti-Venom does on his turn, and when that passive comes into play. Um, so I'm just going to kind of keep going in, spreading the debuffs. It is now Scream's turn. So far, like I said, I'm really enjoying this team. So you did just see on Anti-Venom's turn, his passive cleared away all those debuffs, and I mean, honestly, that was probably this team's biggest, kind of downside, I would say. Um, so looking at his basic, attacks primary target, applies bleed, and the opposite of one random positive effect on this character to the primary target. So basically what that means is looking at Anti-Venom, whatever he has on him, so like he's got speed up. So if I were to attack Sabretooth, any one of these four buffs, Anti-Venom has the possibility of adding one of those to Sabretooth as a debuff. And let's attack Venom because he also has vulnerable, so we'll see how his Striker ISO bonus attack works. Boom, so he applied a bleed. Um, and then he also, it looked like he went in and applied offense down, so that would be the opposite of my offense up. So really cool. Anti-Venom definitely um, brings this team to that full-rounded aspect. Really makes this team just like a really strong raid team. Having no difficulty at all. Going through these first two Ultima 7 nodes. The next one will be a boss node, so we'll see how we handle that. I'm curious. Oh, so the what Anti-Venom do what the animation what he's doing when he is jumping after he does his basic, so he actually heals the most injured non-summoned ally for 5%. So that's what he's jumping, and the reason it's causing zero heal is because none of my allies are actually damaged. So he goes in, he goes to heal. So that's pretty cool. Definitely makes him a pretty sustainable healer. Um, if your team is pretty damaged, if he was to do his basic, you just saw he went twice. You could definitely certainly get some heals up. And I would say the two biggest downsides to this team was that, if they had heal block, they basically weren't able to self heal. So with anti venom being able to eliminate those heal blocks, that certainly gets rid of that mechanic. But then the fact that Anti-Venom can just straight up heal from his attacks is pretty cool. Um, I am noticing with his ISO 8 attack, he is not adding a additional heal. So it looks like he only is applying an extra bleed for his ISO attack, if I'm looking at that correctly. I'm going to test that out one more time, make sure I'm seeing that correctly. So that does take away one of my theories on the team. So he attacked, applied bleed, and then he attacked again and applied bleed, but he didn't heal a second time. So there was kind of some speculation that his ISO 8 attack would cause a secondary heal, essentially kind of having him heal for 5% and 5% again, but it looks like it is just the singular 5% heal. So again, that team went through that really well. They are, kind of functioning a lot better even than I expected. So I'm going to go in and do a quick boss fight. I'm going to do this on 3 times speed, just because I would like to upload this to YouTube and I don't want the video to go over 15 minutes. Um, so we'll go in, we'll do this boss fight, and then kind of do some final thoughts, and kind of go from there. But like I said, so far this team does appear to be performing, you know, at least as to what I was expecting. Honestly, I think they're performing a little bit better than I expected. I expected there to be some damage on the field, or some kind of close call type things. This fight is definitely starting off a little bit rougher, which I'm actually kind of happy for. I want to see how we're able to get the team healed up. And boom, already we are at 100%. Um, poor Luke Cage over there just had a insane amount of debuffs on him, and he popped off pretty quickly. I like that I have heal block currently, so we will see how his special comes into play. And I didn't actually have to use the special because his passive already went and got rid of everything. So there are some negative effects I could flip, but yeah, why not? We'll go in, we'll flip some things. And this is it's really shaping up to be a really cool team. I'm really enjoying the mechanics of how this team operates. They definitely are going to be a very solid raid team. I can see them performing really well in Dark Dimension 3, especially in those city nodes. And yeah, so overall, very happy. Looking forward to Anti Venom becoming available to the free to play players. Um, and it looks like they are going to handle this boss node with no issues whatsoever. Um, I'm going to throw it up on auto and just kind of see what the team does. And I will be cutting this off in the next 30 seconds or so, which I think they should be able to finish the fight. But yeah, so overall, this team functions really well. Anti-Venom ties in this five-man team and really turns them into a powerhouse. Again, the basic mechanics are you're kind of just applying all these debuffs and just kind of slowly watching the enemies tick down. Um, while you're starting to do damage, once the characters start getting into the red health, you're going to start getting speed ups from Carnage. And then while that is also going on, You've got Scream, who's applying her own speed ups once something dies. So yeah, overall, great team. I am going to cut this video off just because we are at the 15-minute mark, and I will look at the rest of the team kind of in a little bit. So yeah, be back in just a minute.